This is Kevin Jones of Godsend Ministry International, and today we're going to take a look at God's print in creation, part 1. One God, three persons, not three gods. God the Father, God the Son, God the Spirit. Many refer to this as the Trinity, but I like to refer to it more as the triune nature of one God, because this is what you'll see in the creation narrative or story. Genesis makes it very clear that God is making a portrait of himself, or a physical representation of himself. From the third heaven, his throne room, his dwelling place. The second heaven, outer space and the celestial realm. The first heaven, the atmosphere above the earth. Here we see the first layer of three. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Where it says God created, that's the third heaven. And the second and the first heaven are the outer space or the earth's atmosphere. Now, of course, you can see the first and the second heaven, but you cannot see the the third one. Because the third heaven, we cannot contact it because of our fall. Our fallen nature broke our spiritual union with God. And remember, God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship him in spirit and truth. Hence, we cannot see that third heaven, but we see him in the creation. Look at the atom, neutrons, protons, electrons. They all work in a triune feature and having motion. I want you to pay close attention to this, because this is what you're going to see throughout this video. Everything has motion, everything has life, and everything is triune. Now let's take a look at the cell membrane, the nucleus, the cytoplasm. All of these things here working in that triune form, working in that triune nature. And this is what makes up our bodies, plants and animals. Please keep this in mind, because God is not as mysterious as we think. He shows his print everywhere in the creation. Now let's take a look at the parts of the seed, something that we can see with our eye. The seed coat, the embryo, the store of food. Here again is that triune nature that you're taking a look at in the seed, just like you did in the cell and in the atom. This is what our creation is made of. And God, who sits in the third heaven, brought all this into being, making a portrait of himself. And when you think about this, it's not so unbelievable or far-fetched. God is just making a representation of himself that is physical, which we call creation. Genesis 1:3 says, "And God said, let there be light, and there was light. And all these things were slung into being." And we'll get into this more in the next video. Until then, God bless you, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.